Finally, okay. We're ready. Guys, finally, I decided to make the turbo build cost of the E36 4-cylinder. I'm gonna start by telling you guys that this includes only the car parts that you need to do this modification, so labor is not included. So this is the stuff that I bought. This is like mostly made in China, except for the AFR and the ECU. On those two things, I would rather spend more and be more safe. I got the turbo kit from AliExpress, which was like 900 euros. And most of those things comprehended like all these stuffs, like the intercooler, the FPR, wastegate, blow-off, boost controller, oil catch can, the turbo, the oil feed and return lines, and yeah, the manifold exhaust, which was completely wrong. That's for the 4-cylinder twin cam. So anyway, this kit I bought it for like 900 euros. From this kit, I only was able to use the intercooler, the fuel pressure regulator, the wastegate, the blow-off valve, which I didn't use by the way because 222 is much better. Then I got the boost controller, which also I removed at some point. Then the things that were not okay was the oil catch can. This turbo is kind of okay, but remember, I recommend you buy a smaller turbo for this setup because otherwise it's gonna take a lot to spool. The oil feed and oil return from this turbo kit were not okay. I had to make some adaptations. Okay, also the downpipe was completely different for this engine. I had to completely make that from scratch. The RPM gauge was useless. I don't know why they put that there. The AFR was not working. The oil pressure gauge in the end is not working. So it was half of it was not usable, more than half of it. So avoid buying already made turbo kit. And as I'm going to show you here, you're going to have to buy them piece by piece. So now with my build, also after I bought the turbo kit, I also had to buy this blanket for the turbo because as you can see, Ale, vieni un secondo. Sentivo un rumore strano da qua, non capivo che cazzo fosse. Ah no? Vieni.
È musica.
Anyway, in order for it to not get ruined, I had to use a turbo cover. This is 20 euros, 440cc injectors. I had to buy for 120 euros. Depends how many horsepower you want to make. Of course, you can put bigger injectors, but on this engine, like stock engine,
Lì. Bello vicino.
ma che cazzo, ma ci prende per il culo. Then we got the Dead 3 piggyback ECU, it's almost 250 euros. Then we have the turbo exhaust flange, that's this piece here that goes from the turbo to the downpipe. This cost me like 45 euros. The boost gauge that I bought, that cost me 33 euros. Then we have the whole exhaust. So counting, you know, the pipes that I used, the curves, with the rear muffler in the back. It's 150 for the curves and pipes and 130 for the rear muffler in the back, which I already had on by the way. Let's say it's almost 300 bucks, 280 bucks. Then we have various gaskets, V-bands, hoses, joints that I had to change. Those, let's say, more or less 100 euros. And finally the AEM AFR sensor, which was 250 euros. So what I spent in total for this setup is 2,000 euros. I could have managed to spend less if I had more experience. So now I'm gonna go over the things that you should do if you want to spend less than me. So first of all, I want to tell you guys that you should buy the things separately. Do not buy the kits, because usually the kits, unless it's a good kit, like it's not Chinese, it's not made in China, you know, of random stuff putting in. After the boost control, you can buy the oil catch can for 20 euros. Also, I recommend smaller turbo, not so big, not for this setup. And after that, we have the oil feed and return line, which is around 40 euros. Very important, guys, the exhaust manifold. You have three options. The stock manifold, you should just cut it and then add the flange for the turbo. This is the cheapest one you can make. If you want an easy swap, you can take in the diesel manifold. It should have the same layout, let's say, as this exhaust manifold. So it should be plug and play. This is the most expensive one, but also the coolest one, let's say so. The 400 euros, around 300 or 400 euros exhaust manifold. You need to spend around 300 euros for the exhaust system if you're gonna count all the pipes from the turbo, you know, downpipe, all the V-bands, all the curves, and the rear muffler. You're gonna spend around 300 euros if you're gonna make it yourself, of course. The turbo blanket cost me 20 euros. The injectors, you can buy the same as me, 440cc, 120 euros. You can use also the dead-free as I did, 250 euros. The boost gauge, I bought it for 33 euros, but after a while it stopped working. And the AEM AFR for 250 euros. So basically you can play however you want. This is the base build that you can make. That's gonna be also a bit reliable, but with the cheapest parts you can get from China. Total price of this is starting from 1,500 euros to 1,900 euros if you're gonna adopt the top mount manifold. Yeah, this is the ideal build that I recommend you guys buy. Add whatever you like to it, change whatever you like, but just know that if you want to start this build, to have at least this money aside. Oh, by the way, have you seen my angel eyes? Look at them. Look at them. Look at them, you fucker. Look at them, man. They're so pretty, man. If you guys are wondering why the car is on jack stands like this, why it's doing a wheelie, we have a small problem underneath there. The slave cylinder is not working. Not working, huh? I was getting in the car the other day and I was like pressing the pedal. So the pedal is like, wait, what? Che cazzo è stato? Bro, what the fuck? Sì. No. No. Sì. Oops. Ma perché adesso era duro? Anyway, the slave cylinder was not working. Now it's really not working. The pedal was was like really soft. Adesso è diventata dura. Ma fra, ieri non era un cazzo duro, adesso è diventato duro, ma che cazzo? Okay guys, maybe it was just the O-ring for the slave cylinder. We're just gonna try it out. Anyway, so these are the wheels that I bought, but I need to restore them. These are 19 wheels, by the way, but I'm gonna do a dedicated video about this some other time. So, up until now, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm gonna try and answer them. So yeah, see you in the next episode.